What's up and welcome to KplusGaming Corner, and in this Remnant 2 video, we're looking at a build I used to defeat the Annihilation final boss fight on Apocalypse difficulty, and in general will make Apocalypse mode a piece of cake while you cruise through and lay waste to every encounter you step into. I've now beaten the game on Apocalypse mode on both PlayStation and Xbox, and that final boss fight is no joke on the hardest level. So without wasting more time, let's get into this ultra tank build. Starting with the Archetype classes, I went with the Challenger as the primary and the Alchemist as the secondary. This, in my opinion, gives you maximum survivability and makes you extremely hard to kill, although you could go with the Medic as your secondary as well. I just prefer the Alchemist skill, which I'll explain shortly. Just saying, the secondary class you choose is flexible based on your playstyle. The main reason we're going with the Challenger is for the Die Hard Prime perk, which allows you to cheat death once every 10 minutes, and that resets once you rest at a World Stone or if you really do die. Plus, the class lets you wear some of the heavier armor sets. I'm going with the full Lido Mark 1 for this one, so we can take a few hits without worrying too much. A little less stress in your boss fights is always nice. The Close Quarters damage perk is boosting our damage dealt by 35% as long as the enemies are within 10 meters. Plus, we get up to 10% increased crit chance, which is also good. Whenever we use a relic to heal ourselves, we're getting 2 stacks of Bulwark for more damage reduction, plus this also increases our damage dealt by another 10% for 10 seconds. For the Challenger skill, we're using Juggernaut, which gives us 3 more stacks of Bulwark, plus 15% increased movement speed and reduced stamina cost for 25 seconds. For the Alchemist skill, as mentioned, I think Elixir of Life is one of the best skills in the game when it comes to survivability, since this will give you another way to cheat death, where for 20 seconds while it's active, you're getting increased health regen, plus it protects against fatal damage, and you can revive your allies if they fall and you use it near them. You don't have to risk it all trying to use your relic and revive them and deal with those slow-ass revive animations. The Liquid Courage damage perk is also giving us a flat 25% increase to all damage, plus a 5% increase to crit chance, so we're dealing more damage while being harder to kill. For the Amulet, I'm going with the Whispering Marble, which grants 3 stacks of Bulwark, making us tankier with more damage reduction, plus we're increasing all damage dealt by 3% per stack of Bulwark, so the stronger we get, the more damage we're dealing. Now keep in mind, the maximum stacks of Bulwark we can have is 5, and we'll be between 3 to 5 stacks of Bulwark consistently, so that's 9 to 15% more damage we're dealing at all times with this amulet on. For the rings, I'd recommend the Dead King's Memento, which increases health by 15, Fey Protector Signet, which increases health and stamina both by 10, plus lowers your encumbrance, allowing you to wear the Lido gear and still have a faster dodge roll. I'd also go with the Ring of the Robust, which increases health by another 10 points, plus gives you 20 more armor, and then the Dull Steel Ring, which improves your dodge by 1 weight class. You could go without this one if you don't mind a slower roll, but the way I see it, I want things to be as easy as possible, and this ring definitely helps towards that. The Bisected Ring is also a good choice since you'd be getting infinite stamina at the cost of taking more damage, but with our armor and all those stacks of Bulwark, you're more than canceling out that extra damage. The Black Cat Band would also be useful as another way to cheat death, or you could go with the Defensive Action Loop, which states that while reloading and for 3 seconds after, all incoming damage is reduced by 10%, or you could go with the Lithic Signet, which reduces all incoming damage by 7%. For the weapons, I went with the Chicago Typewriter for this fight, but that's totally up to you. I just like using this gun because I could put on whatever mod I want. I went with the Fargazer mod, which is great for boss fights and chipping away at elites since we can stack dot damage onto enemies. And I have on the Prophecy Mutator, which helps us get the Fargazer back faster once the timer runs out, but that's also flexible so you can pick and choose whichever works for you. For me, the Enigma was important for this fight since there's going to be times where Annihilation spawns these orange orbs that deal tons of damage if you don't get rid of them quickly, and the Enigma allows you to destroy multiple orbs at a time, clearing them out before they have a chance to attack and potentially one-shot you. The Harmonizer Mutator helps the Chaos Driver mod do more damage, so I always recommend using that one with the Enigma. Let me know in the comments if there's another handgun that would also be really effective in this or other boss fights. Most won't be meleeing against Annihilation unless you're nasty with the Spectral Blade, so we won't worry too much about the melee weapons. And as usual, I'm going with the Salvage Heart for the increased use speed, and then for the fragments we have on extra armor, health, and stamina. This is how I have my trait points set up going into the fight. The Siphoner trait for the lifesteal and the Regrowth trait for some health regen are definitely ones to consider, but that's up to you. You can spec into whichever traits work best to help take down Annihilation on Apocalypse mode. So there you have it, just a quick rundown on a build that helped me get through the final boss on Apocalypse mode. If you're stuck and we're looking for some suggestions, I hope this was helpful, and if you want to finally get your hands on the World's Edge sword, or try out the Starkiller long gun, or the Repulsor which is back from Remnant from the Ashes, definitely give this setup a try. Thanks so much for watching if you made it this far, and do give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. It definitely helps the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell to make sure you're getting all the updates on when I'm going live or dropping new videos. Love you guys, and thanks again for all your support. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Until then, peace!